If you want to build a global superpower, the blueprint is usually simple. You need deep ocean ports, massive oil reserves, or a population in the hundreds of millions. Switzerland has none of those things. Yet this tiny, landlocked country holds trillions in global wealth. While neighboring nations navigate cycles of collapse and inflation, the Swiss economy has remained remarkably stable for decades. This level of prosperity is the result of a specific, centuries-old calculation. The Swiss didn't stumble into wealth. They built a system designed to attract it. Instead of digging for coal or drilling for oil, they engineered their society to produce the most valuable commodity on Earth: absolute, unshakable trust. Physical resources are finite and subject to market crashes, but an economy built on a foundational system of trust becomes a global utility, one that is infinitely more resilient to the shocks that destroy traditional economies. This system began with geography. The Swiss Alps functioned as a natural fortress, providing a physical barrier that isolated the country from the constant power struggles of its neighbors. The Swiss leveraged these mountains into a policy of strict neutrality. By maintaining a heavily armed defensive posture while refusing to join foreign wars, they effectively opted out of Europe's most destructive conflicts. This timeline shows the impact. While surrounding nations experienced violent economic resets from war, the Swiss line remains uninterrupted. Because their economy never rebuilt from zero, wealth compounded. Switzerland built on existing capital while the world started over. Political stability, originally a byproduct of geography, became the country's most lucrative export. This guaranteed safety created a specific global demand. For over a century, the world's elite and largest corporations have prioritized parking their money in a zone where it is safe from seizure or collapse. Swiss banks met this demand by layering trust into their laws. They offered unshakable political neutrality, extreme physical security, and a commitment to absolute privacy. As trillions of dollars flowed into the country, the volume of capital created its own gravity. The more wealth the system protected, the more it attracted from across the globe. This reputation for neutrality eventually expanded beyond the banks. Switzerland positioned itself as the ultimate neutral ground, becoming the home for international headquarters and global diplomatic summits. By remaining unaligned, they converted their isolation into a global financial magnet. This economic model required a specific type of domestic workforce. Without access to cheap mass labor, the Swiss economy incentivized high standards of education and discipline, focusing on long-term systems over quick profits. This cultural focus dictated their industrial strategy. Instead of competing on the quantity of goods, Swiss companies focused on extreme precision and quality, manufacturing products that larger nations couldn't easily replicate. The economic leverage here is significant. A single, perfectly engineered Swiss product can command a market value hundreds of times greater than a mass-produced competitor. This obsession with reliability allowed Switzerland to dominate sectors where mistakes are not an option, such as pharmaceuticals, precision engineering, and global food science. The Swiss Made label is effectively a consumer-facing version of their banking system. It sells the promise of absolute reliability. Behind the fairy tale imagery of the Alps lies a highly calibrated economic engine. Switzerland is a case study in how a nation can engineer its way to the top of the global food chain. It demonstrates that national wealth can be decoupled from the raw resources buried in the ground. In the modern world, the most effective economic multipliers are long-term stability, uncompromising quality, and the strategic export of trust. But the Swiss blueprint is no longer a secret. Right now, another quiet, rising nation is copying this exact model. They are positioning themselves to be the next global financial power. To see which country is following in Switzerland's footsteps, you need to watch our next video.